Hello. This is the Vietnam Social News Update for October 2nd, 2025. Date of news coverage: October 2nd, 2025. Politics. Vietnam's ruling Communist Party continues to steer a course of internal consolidation and symbolic diplomacy. The sweeping administrative reform has already taken effect. As of July 1st, the district, Huen tier of government was abolished, and the number of local units was halved in a push to create a more streamlined two-level structure at the provincial and communal levels. This move is intended to reduce bureaucracy, cut costs, and bring government services closer to citizens' needs, though critics warn that it risks over-centralization and reduced transparency at the local level. Concurrently, Party General Secretary To Lam's rumored upcoming visit to North Korea remains in focus. Though not yet officially confirmed, it would be the first trip by a Vietnamese party leader to Pyongyang in nearly 20 years, underscoring Hanoi's willingness to maintain ideological solidarity and diplomatic flexibility, even amid shifting regional alignments. Observers see this as part of Vietnam's bamboo diplomacy approach, rooted in firm principles, yet bending with changing geopolitical winds to preserve strategic independence. At the parliamentary level, Vietnam and Mongolia have pledged to deepen cooperation. The two countries will exchange legislative experience and promote collaboration across sectors including lawmaking, agriculture, trade, and technology. This move illustrates Hanoi's broader aim to cultivate new regional partners beyond its traditional diplomatic orbit. Economy. Now, let's move to the economy. Vietnam is grappling with the aftermath of Typhoon Bualoi, which made landfall in central provinces last week. Authorities evacuated thousands of people and shut down several airports in anticipation of severe flooding, strong winds, and landslides. The storm damaged infrastructure, knocked out power to hundreds of thousands of households, and left sectors such as agriculture, transportation, and logistics under pressure. Recovery efforts now dominate provincial agendas, diverting resources and slowing growth in exposed regions. At the same time, trade tensions are reshaping Vietnam's external calculus. The European Union is pushing for greater balance under the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement, arguing that Vietnamese exports already outpace EU goods delivered into Vietnam by a wide margin. The EU is calling for streamlined agricultural regulations and alignment with international automotive standards to facilitate more symmetrical flows. For Vietnam, the opportunity lies in using EU demand to offset pressure from US tariff measures and other external headwinds. In the investment arena, new deals with Saudi Arabia are gaining attention. During a Saudi-Vietnamese business forum in Hanoi, 5 memoranda of understanding were signed in fields such as infrastructure, advanced manufacturing, tourism, and human resources. These agreements reflect growing Gulf interest in Southeast Asian market expansion and offer Vietnam fresh capital sources beyond its usual partners in East Asia and Europe. Society and culture. Next, in society and culture. The human cost of Typhoon Bualoi is becoming clearer. As of today, dozens of people have died and many remain missing. Flooding has forced evacuations in central and northern provinces, while waterlogged roads and landslides have blocked communities. Rescue teams and community groups are scrambling to deliver relief, reopen blocked routes, and restore basic services. The storm again underscores Vietnam's vulnerability to extreme weather and climate change, especially given the country's long coastline and densely settled lowlands. Amid these challenges, cultural life continues to adapt. Vietnam's new English-language television channel, Vietnam Today, launched earlier in September as a state instrument to showcase Vietnamese narratives globally. The channel dispenses news, cultural programming, business reports, and travel features, aiming to project a modern, outward-looking Vietnam to the world. Its establishment signifies Hanoi's recognition that image and narrative matter in global engagement. Meanwhile, local communities are also finding ways to preserve traditions under duress. Lantern craft workshops, folk performances, and neighborhood Mid-Autumn Festival preparations are adjusting to weather constraints, with some events shifting indoors or to smaller scales. Still, the spirit of seasonal cultural celebration remains alive, as residents strive to carry on rituals and sustain social bonds in affected areas. International relations. Finally, in international relations, Vietnam's external diplomacy continues its balancing act. At home, it strengthens people-to-people ties with Russia. During the first Vietnam-Russia People's Forum, officials emphasized the long historical friendship and pledged deeper cooperation in culture, education, science, trade, and social exchanges. Hanoi frames this as part of its broader multilateral, diversified, independent, and self-reliant foreign policy. Beyond bilateral ties, Vietnam is also expanding parliamentary cooperation with Mongolia. The two legislatures plan to exchange lawmaking practices, promote joint projects in agriculture, power generation, and mining, and facilitate Vietnamese investors entering Mongolia. This marks a modest but deliberate step toward broader diplomatic diversification. On the trade front, the EU's push for more equitable commerce is creating both opportunity and challenge. Brussels wants easier access for its agricultural exports into Vietnam and for its manufacturers to compete under unified European standards. For Vietnam, this could open new markets or negotiate better terms, but only if domestic firms can meet regulatory, environmental, and quality benchmarks. Finally, in the strategic realm, Vietnam continues to embody what many observers call bamboo diplomacy, a posture of rooted sovereignty combined with flexibility in navigating rising powers like China, deepening ties with the US, Japan, India, and closer engagement with regional organizations. In a volatile international environment, Hanoi's approach seeks to protect core interests while avoiding binary alignments. Thank you for listening to the Vietnam Social News Update. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And see you again tomorrow. This news summary is based on publicly available reports and rewritten uniquely for Vietnam Social News. VietnamNews.com is the official web address of Vietnam Social News. We are an independent platform, not affiliated with Vietnam News Agency or any government-owned media outlet.